Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about logos. Dun, dun, dun. Now this could either scare you or it could make you feel really enthusiastic and creative and oh my gosh, I can't wait, I know exactly what I want and life is good. But for those of you who are thinking, I don't know where to start, what do I do, how do I get a logo, what's it going to look like, how do I know if it's okay, does it look right? I mean, all these things that sometimes can come whizzing in your head. Just take a breath, just relax, it's going to be okay. And you know the reason why? Because I'm going to do it step by step with you as to what you need to think about, where you need to go, what you need to do when it comes to choosing a logo. First and foremost, one thing you have to have already decided before even thinking about your logo is what your name is. What is your brand name? If you know this, fantastic, step one is done. If you don't know this, that's okay. You just need to get step one done, because without a name, you aren't going to know how your brand should look or be or what it's going to kind of encompass. So figure out your brand name. Moving on, if you've done that, brilliant. Step two, you then need to go and check out, have a look at all the different brands that there are. So have a look at brands, I would say, which are specific, more specific, should I say, to your niche. And the reason why I say that is because usually there is a reason. Let's put it that way. If, for instance, I am choosing a brand name for a company that I'm creating, which is dealing with, off the top of my head, accounting. I don't know why I went there, but I did. There is no point me looking at brands which deal with children's toys. Why? Because usually kids or brands which are dealing with children's toys, their custom base are children. They're going to be looking at colors, at lettering, sorry, which is going to draw children in. So when their products are all on the shelves, they're looking at that product and they go, ah, that looks pretty, or that looks, you know, stands out to me. If you're in accounting and you're wanting to start your own company, that's not the clientele that you're looking for. You're not going to do the same, or you're not going to get inspiration from the same kind of font type and coloring as children. So you want to, it doesn't have to be specific. You don't need to look at other accountancy firms to only specifically look at them. But what you want to do is you want to look at companies which have a similar clientele. So you might look at law firms, you might look at software type companies which build and create software. Do you see what I mean? It's staying within that bracket, within that lane. There is no point going so far outside your lane that if someone sees it, it just isn't going to grab the clients that you're looking for. And the same with if you are selling an item, you want to be able to grab the attention of the consumer when you've got your brand, your logo out there. Once you've got that, you then need to look at whether or not your strength is in the creative field, i.e., are you good at drawing? Are you good at sketching? Are you good at going online and being able to tamper around and look at whether it be lettering and things like that? If that is a yes, then fantastic, because guess what? You get to save your coinage, which is usually what you need when you're starting your own company or brand, whatever. If the answer is no, that's absolutely fine. There are websites that can help you, and you can pay someone to do, you know, that maybe not be in your expertise. So for instance, I personally went on Fiverr. I knew the kind of lettering I wanted. I knew the kind of look that I wanted. I wanted something very simple, very clean, very easy to read. If I wanted to, I could convert that into show my Chatting Breeze basically. I could then put the C and the B if I wanted to, just together, just to have that. It was a lot more versatile if I just got lettering that I liked and the way that I liked it to be. I will show you. You'll see that the Chatting is in obviously boldish, but it's kind of thicker lines, and then the Breeze is in very thick lines. Just a slight difference between the two, nothing crazy. When I was looking at different types of lettering, I knew I wanted the Chatting and the Breeze. They're two, you know, separate words, so to speak, although I've interlinked them together, but I wanted them to stand out from one another, but also have a cohesive look to the whole word. That was my reasoning behind choosing the logo or the lettering that I chose. If you're looking to have lettering or anything like that, you can go online, you can have a look, you can obviously check out lettering and stuff and just see what you like, because what you'll need to do is when you're going to find somebody who can make up your logo, you need to show them inspiration. You need to show them, this is where my mind is going. This is what I'm thinking I like, or this is what I like. If you can completely say to them, right, I want this lettering here, I want it to have this color, so then you show them another logo with a specific color that you like. I want this, potentially just using mine as an example, the C to be here, I want the B to sit further down. If you being very specific to them, they can just create that off the back. If you're like, okay, I'm not quite sure, I know I like this lettering, I think I want it in this color, but I'm not sure, I think I quite like this color as well, give that information to them, and then they'll be able, whoever's creating your logo will be able to give you different design ideas off of what you've given them, and then you can choose. And maybe there'll be one that you like but it's still not quite 100% right. That's okay. You can go back to them and you say, can you just try it with maybe, for instance, a bolder outline or a different color instead, or could you change the C and the B, you know, to look a little bit different, whatever it is. But I always find that if you have the initial outline, that first picture is what's then going to go, yes, this either looks right to me or doesn't look right to me. If you're someone who struggles with being able to see that, then you're going to have to ask people who you value their opinion, you value what it is that they have to say, ask for their opinion about things and say, do you think this looks right? Would you like this logo? If you saw this, would it catch your attention? Because ultimately, that is what you need. You need something which is going to grab people's attention in a long lineup of logos. You want something which is going to go, oh, okay, yeah, that one stood out to me. I'll remember that one for whatever reason, whether it's because of the color, whether because it's the lettering, whatever the reason, just something grabs them and grabs their attention. Very important that you have to remember why you're creating the logo. You're creating the logo because it represents your brand. It gives someone an insight, whether we know it or not, it gives someone that insight into what your brand is before they've even seen the product. For instance, if I see a logo on a t-shirt, straight away, do I like the logo or don't I like the logo? Straight away, that's going to determine whether or not I purchase the top or not. I had to think in regards to my Chatting Breeze, for future designs and stuff, I would love Chatting Breeze to be on t-shirts, printed on and embroidered and things like that. I know exactly what I would love, but I need to make sure that the logo that I have, the design that I have, is going to be versatile enough that I can switch it up. You can always change the coloring and stuff in the end. So I have mine in black, for instance, my logo. That logo can be changed into white on a black t-shirt. It can change into pink. It doesn't matter that the color initially is in black. I will be able to change that over time and change it into different coloring, into gold, whatever it is that suits what I am putting it on. But the thing that people are going to remember is that, oh, Chatting Breeze, yeah. Because the style of the lettering is going to stay the same. The style will stay the same no matter what it is. There's obviously been brands in the past who have changed their logos. Yes, you can absolutely do that. And as time goes on, you may want to even do that. But just think initially, try to think as much as you can of the long term, because once you've built the brand, you kind of want to keep the consistency if you can, as much as anything. If you are a massive brand, if your brand really takes off, if your company really takes off, people will be able to adapt very quickly to it. But if you are at that kind of small to medium sized company or brand that some people know, but not, you know, not everyone. If you think of, you know, the whole globe, there's not many industries that have been able to have a global success, but then they can change their branding pretty easily. People are still going to buy the product because they know about the product by then. They love the product and it's all about that. In the initial stages, we don't have that luxury. We need to think long term and think what can, and if I was to branch out, if I was to expand, would it still fit the different categories which I want to expand into? So just remember, basically what you need to think about is, number one, do you have your name? Because your name is going to determine what your logo is. Once you have the name, then you need to then see whether it's something you can do or someone else can do. I use Fiverr because I think it's a great site. People are able to rate the work that they've had done for them, so you can see if that person is any good. You can also check out their work as well. And you can speak to the person, so you can email the person before even purchasing any of their services. So you can speak to them and say, this is what I'd like done, is it something that you can do? And you can also just check just to make sure it's within your budget. You can find someone who is within your budget as well, which is obviously very important when money matters, and it does. That's the reason why I use Fiverr, because you're able to check their work, speak to them beforehand, make sure that they have a bit of an understanding as to what it is that you want and what you're looking for, and you can find somebody who's within your budget, and you're backed up by Fiverr that if something was to go wrong or if there was any issues, you can raise those issues with the website and potentially get your money back on the service if, heaven forbid, something wasn't to have gone right. You also then need to do your own background research. Don't just say to somebody, I would like a logo. This is my name. This is the name of the logo. You need to do your own research. Have a look at other brands. Have a look at their coloring of their, or colors potentially that you like, that could be in your logo. Have a look at lettering if you want it. Have a look at emblems if it's more of an emblem that you want to, that you're looking at rather than lettering. Have a look at different emblems and logos and things. Get inspired by that. Save those images. Save the images. Save the images. You do not want to have flicked past something and then forgotten to save it, and now you can't find it and you can't remember what the brand name was or whatever. If you see inspiration, you're out and about and you're doing a walk or wherever you are, take a photo of it. Say, I really like this. What you do is you then put that all together, send that to the person. And if it's for yourself, then do exactly that. If you're not sure, if you want to do something and you're like, I still don't know, I'm still not sure what I want it to look like, exactly the same theory goes for you, even if you're going to build it yourself. Then you need to obviously start the logo, whether you start it yourself or you're having someone else start it for you. It's going to sometimes take time. You get the base. It's all about having that foundation, have the base, and then you layer upon it. And you go, I don't like this, I'm going to remove this. Oh, I prefer this, I'm going to add this in. Actually, I prefer it in this color, so let's change the color tones. Maybe I need it a tiny shade. It is literally down to the detail. Maybe I want it a tiny shade lighter, a tiny shade darker. Things like that really do matter. And like I said, if that then doesn't hit you and you're like, this really is not my forte, this really is not something, this is not where my strengths play to, get other people to look at it for you. Everyone is a consumer. Every single person you know is a consumer because they purchase things. So even if sometimes you're too close to something, this is your brand, this is your baby, it's very difficult sometimes to take a step back and go, okay, is this actually me being biased because I've either created the logo myself, so am I just loving this because I put in so much work to it and that's the reason why I like it? Or is it actually that you have something? Go find out, go ask people, you know, even if it's just putting something on Facebook, guys, what do you think? What do you like? Instagram, anything like that. If you don't have anyone's opinion who you necessarily value very close to you, and you can ask multiple people, go on social media. You're going to need to use social media anyway. It will become your platform for everything. So in that respect, go out there and ask the people who potentially could be using your services or purchasing your items anyway. Right, I really hope that that has helped you guys. I hope that's given you a good understanding of the steps that it's going to take for you to create your logo and do the work and the groundwork for you to be able to get something that you really love in the long run. Right guys, until next week, see you later, bye.